I really like this picture because it gives a neat idea where the heart is placed in our body. Shown right side and the left side of the heart are the lungs. The heart sits between the two lungs. We can name it as the left lung and the right lung. So it is opposite actually, and we refer to the right side or the right arm side as the right lung and the left arm side as the left lung. We have the ribs, which are basically for safety, and all these are formed behind the ribs. We also have a set of muscles which are lying or below these three organs, which is really important and often ignored by all of us, which is called as the diaphragm. Okay, here comes the diaphragm, and a rib are enclosed by a space, right? This diaphragm becomes the ceiling or the wall space for all these things. These organs put together is called as thorax, which constitutes the lungs, heart and the diaphragm. Right. So we'll just see a zoomed version of the heart. So here is your right lung and here is your left lung. So the heart lies exactly between the right and left lungs. So let us have a small view of the cell of the body. We all know that the whole body is constituted of several cells, and it is responsible for the functioning of our body. All the cells have some adjacent blood vessels flowing nearby it, and all these cells require oxygen. I think you will agree with it. Cells need something to live happily, right? And there is another side of it where each cell generates some waste or byproducts, and as you correctly noticed, it will be the carbon dioxide. So if there is no flow of blood, then naturally there is no waste produced. And if this blood is not going to reach to all the cells, it is noticed that the cell will be totally surrounded with waste material. Well, this is not a happy sign. We are not living happily. So the blood should flow nicely and smoothly, and if there is any flow, then the waste product is now actually lifted away from the cells. And there is some mechanism by which all this trash material is collected and sent out of the body. In return, the oxygen and nutrients reach all the cells, and the cells are happy. So if you want to really want all the cells to be working properly, It requires that there is a good blood flow, isn't it? And somehow the blood should be constantly moving throughout the body. To do this, billions and billions of cells we need a very powerful pump, right? And this is the function of the heart. It is an amazing pump pushing blood, so you have good blood flow. It is an amazing pump, isn't it? Pushing blood inside and outside to regulate your blood flow. There is a number of jobs that heart is functioning, and let us list it. Job number 1 is to systematically flow the blood through the entire body. When I mean systematic, I just mean the body. Now exactly how that happens actually we can see on this picture. We have a set of veins and arteries. The blood is actually going through the artery this way. There are inferior veins which carry blood. It takes the blood from all the parts of the body into the heart, and then when the heart is ready to pump, it is back through the artery. It is named as aorta. So this is how the blood comes and gets pumped into the heart around, but isn't actually the only job of the heart. The second job of the heart is actually also available in the picture and is called as pulmonary flow. So what does it mean? Well, we need oxygen, right? We know this, and we also know that some sort of waste is generated, and there should be a way of getting rid of it. So we want to get rid of the carbon dioxide. Here comes in the lungs. Before dishing out, it actually sends the blood all over the lungs. It goes to the left lungs and over to the right lungs, and the blood comes back from the right and left and gets pushed back into the heart and then gets squeezed out through the aorta. Actually, extra little step here, and from that the lung, and that's the pulmonary flow. So finally we will notice that these kind of wrinkled looking blood vessels all over the heart, and what are they exactly? You got the red ones, blue ones. They are all responsible for this systematic flow or pulmonary flow. All put together we call it as coronary artery or the coronary vessels. These muscles serve the heart itself. So many cells are involved in this, just like our toe cells that we drew earlier. They need oxygen, nutrients and have waste. So those cells are going to be needing blood vessel supply too. So that is what the blood vessels are doing, and these are the ones that serve the heart. The coronary vessels fall under the systematic flow. We have a systematic flow of blood, which means it reaches the entire body, all the cells in the body. Now exactly how that is happening we can see in the picture. So here we have a giant size vein and you have an artery, and blood actually goes through the artery this way, and it actually comes out into two veins. The one at the top, this is called the superior just like means at the top, superior vena cava, that's the name of the vein. And at the bottom here you can see it because it's on the other side of the heart, but there is another vein called inferior vein. These two veins actually drag blood in from the body all over into the heart, and then when the heart is ready to pump it back, it goes through the artery, and the name of it is the aorta. So if you heard of the aorta, this is the artery we are talking about. So this is how the blood comes out and gets around. It isn't actually the only job present for the heart. The second job of the heart is actually, which is also seen in picture, and it is called as a pulmonary flow. Pulmonary flow. So what does it mean? Well, we know that cells are expecting oxygen, right? We know this, and this is where a lot of carbon dioxide waste also. Well, it is good to move it out, but if you actually never want to do it, we need one more organ to be involved. The same point going out and in. We want to get rid of the oxygen, right? It comes outside from the lungs, sending blood out of the artery. Before just dishing it out, it actually sends the blood over the lungs, gives over to the left lung and over to the right lung, comes back from the right lung and the left lung, and it is pushed back to the heart and then gets squeezed to the aorta, and from the lungs, that's the pulmonary flow. So finally, thing you will notice is, if you look at this picture into heart, there are all given here. There are so many blood vessels all over the heart. We have the red ones, blue ones. Blue ones are the veins. We have the systematic flow, pulmonary flow. Well, these veins are all put together. We call it as a coronary vessels. And so specifically you might hear a coronary artery or a coronary vein, but together you can call them as a coronary blood vessels, which are actually serving the heart muscles actually. Heart is made up of thousands and thousands of cells like this, just like any other part of the body. They need oxygen, nutrients, and have wastes too. So these cells are going to need blood vessel supply also. The blood vessels are going to serve this purpose for the heart also. Now, if they are serving to the heart muscles and the heart cells, then think it about, would they fit under the systematic flow or pulmonary flow? Well, the main job is to serve the need of cells, then the coronary vessels fall under systematic flow,